So what makes for a good advocacy campaign? I've used this list around the world on my travels, and it seems to have resonated, but I'd be interested to hear what you think. Anyway, what makes for a good advocacy campaign? Well, I think having a clear message, having real focus is important in your campaigning. I like to talk about the absence of ambiguity, a really clear message. And that message being really focused around a simple problem and a simple solution. I think that's important. I also think that a sense of outrage, a sense of injustice, a sense of things just not being right is really important to energize a campaign. I just think that to be mildly irritated about something is just not enough. I think the media can be really important, but I think what's really important are the words in brackets there, when needed. You shouldn't just see the media as a default setting, but be thinking critically about whether or not the media will help you run your campaign. Political support is really important, and by that I mean cross-party. You should never allow your issue to be owned by any one political party. The importance of alliances, working with allies, I think is really important as well. And where possible, thinking of surprising allies, organisations and people adding their support that one might not necessarily think would be in support of the campaign. I think any good campaign needs action, needs things to do is important. And this penultimate point here, the voices of people affected by the problem is so important. You know, the most effective campaign lobbying I've ever seen was done by a young woman from the Democratic Republic of the Congo who went up to the then immigration minister in the UK. And she was so powerful. He just didn't know what to say to her. And she was so good and she was so powerful because she was communicating, she was campaigning her lived experience. And I think that can make for such powerful campaigning. And a campaign also needs momentum. A good campaign won't just need one activity or isolated activities, but a real sense of momentum, progress and movement. And when I think about campaigning, I like to think about the kind of key campaigning mechanisms. Research and analysis is really important. What do you know about the problem? Now, research can be a real delaying tactic. You know, we'll do a 2-year research program before we run our campaign. I like to talk about rapid and revealing research when it comes for campaigning. When you think about campaigning, think about the lobbying. Who do you need to speak to directly? You think about the media, traditional media, social media, how you might use the media to develop momentum for your campaign. The importance of allies, who can come in support of your campaign, and in particular surprising allies. And also thinking about public campaigning, the extent to which mobilizing your supporters or the wider public can be helpful. And certainly when I'm running a campaign, I like to think about those 5 elements and how at different stages I am using them, or indeed choosing not to use them. Right, so let's move on now and look at how policy change happens.